We've had a lot of success in being able to be reactive. We have a customer that needs something. Our goal is to make that happen overnight. You need to be able to execute that with an amount of speed because something there needs to set yourself apart from all your other competition. I'm Jack Henderson-Adams, and I'm the owner of Western Earthworks. Western Earthworks has been in business 5.5 years. Projects lately has been solar development. We do residential construction, foundations, septic systems, driveways, roadways, and we do a small portion of landscape construction. We're on site where a solar farm will be installed, about 3.5 megawatt farm. We have wetland crossing, wetland remediation, we have blasting, we have some pretty intense and stringent erosion control barrier guidelines that we have to follow. There's some retention pond construction, spillways. A lot of the issues that we're dealing with, especially on the slope behind me, is basically mitigating runoff, eliminating erosion, and keeping the site stable. Keeping it intact through the duration of the project will be the biggest challenge. All of the stumps, they'll all be run through a grinder, and we'll use that material for our erosion control. We have a DX350LC that's on site, and that'll be doing most of the heavy lifting, a lot of the stumping. The DA30 haul truck for our initial cut fill. We're going to be moving material, moving stump grindings. Behind me, we have a DX170 excavator that's fitted with Orion's felling head. One of the deciding factors with the purchase and the lease of the DX170 was we wanted to pack the biggest punch we could and still be functional with our moves with our tag trailer. This is an extremely capable machine. The cameras on the DOOSAN equipment and the side view camera on this DX170, I'd say right off the bat it's extremely handy when you are running into a situation where you're cutting timber and you're constantly in and out and around other trees. To have a screen to see where you're at, what's behind you, is extremely comforting. And the DOOSAN machines, what I like about them, they're extremely well built, they're quiet, they're functional, they're well thought out, and they're fast. I can't say enough about them with how they handle and how they perform. I've found with the DX350 and the DA30 that the craftsmanship, the construction, the way the machine's put together, there's not one thing on that machine that isn't as well thought out as some of our smaller pieces of equipment. Leasing DOOSAN equipment makes sense to me. I know exactly how it's going to get taken care of. I know every inch of that machine front and back, and it becomes predictable. And when it's predictable, it limits your exposure for failure out in the field. The lease is, I think, very competitive, and combine that with the warranty that DOOSAN offers, it's a no-brainer. I've been working with Berry Equipment for the past 5.5 years. Berry Equipment's a family-owned company. Tom Berry sat me down in his office and took the time to go over my first piece of equipment. Leaving that meeting I had with Tom, you know, there was some comfort in the thought that you had a dealership that, you know, they had your back. They took the time to explain, you know, where you're at, what needs to get done, and that means a lot.
We've been fortunate enough to sell Jack multiple pieces of DOOSAN equipment. The old saying is the actual salesman and the piece of equipment sell the first one, and it's the parts and support and service that sell the rest of them. And I think that's a very accurate statement of our relationship with Western Earthworks and why we continue to do business today.
It'll be 8, 9 o'clock and I'll call Joe Berry and they pick up the phone. We need parts are there next day. We have issues with the equipment. They're swapping it out with something else. There's comfort in dealing with a small business. They have to be the best. They have to have the best service. They have to be the most responsive. I think that they have the best idea of how they can relate to me and my small company.